Hi everybody, and welcome to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. In this video, I've got a story for you from Am I the A-hole with an update, and one from Today I F'd Up. So if you want to go ahead and get started with the stories, just use the timestamps below the video. I'd also like to give a big shout out to all my supporters and the new members that have been coming in. It makes a huge difference and it really means a lot to me, so thank you very much. Now, let's get started with the first story. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole, and it's by user MaybeAsKing. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to change my last name like my siblings? It's me, 16 male, and my 3 other siblings. Jordan, 19 male, my twin brother Lewis, 16 male, and my sister Bella, 14 female. Our parents got divorced 4 years ago. My dad was cheating on my mom, he came out and told her, so they split. We were all mad at my dad for a while, especially me, cause we were always close, so it hurt knowing he did this. We didn't talk for a year. He said he'd give me space till I was ready, then after that, we started talking again. He only had us a few days out of the week, but that changed a while back. My brothers and my sister decided they didn't want to go with him at all, so they stayed at mom's full time. He only sees them every other weekend. I'm the only one that wanted to get split custody. So like 1 week with him, then 1 week mom. Which they were all mad at. They still hate my dad for cheating. I get it, because to me, I haven't looked at him the same, but I'm not mad anymore because it happened already years ago. After they broke up, my mom started going out with my stepdad, Martin. They got married last year, right before lockdown, but he was already living with us long time. We don't talk much, but he's chill. They do more stuff with him than I do, but because they have more time than me, and they like him a lot. I do too. Before Father's Day, my siblings and my mom came to me about a surprise they wanted to do for Martin, and the surprise was all of us changing our last names to his. Everyone but I said no. I like having my last name. They can do it, obviously, but I'm not interested. That got everyone mad, especially my mom. She talks a lot of crap about my dad all the time, so she asked me why I still want to have a last name as a piece of crap. I told her he's still my dad. He cheated, but he still always tries to be a good dad, so I don't hold that against him anymore. We have these fights all the time whenever I'm going to his house, so I just got tired and ignored them. But they bugged me a lot about doing the change with them because it would mean a lot to Martin if we all did it. I wasn't even there for Father's Day. I went to my dad's. And they're mad I ruined it since they wanted it to be an everyone thing and I'm the only one not changing my last name now. I don't know why they think I'm being an a-hole for not wanting to change my last name just because of what my dad did long time ago already. And it's not like I consider Martin my dad. They're acting like I am, so am I the a-hole? No, OP, you're not the a-hole. I do think that your dad cheating on your mom is bad, and I'd probably be just as mad as your siblings or yourself at some point. But that's not a reason for them to pressure you or treat you like they're treating you just because you don't want to do what they want to do. Also, I understand that your mom's opinion of your dad must be low as hell because he cheated on her. Yeah, that sucks and I'm so sorry for her. But regardless of what she thinks of him, I don't think it's right the way she talks about him in front of you guys. I kinda get the feeling that's somewhat like parental alienation. Please correct me if you guys think I'm wrong. Back to your dilemma, OP. It's just like you said. If they want to do it, they can go ahead and do it. If you don't want to, then you don't do it, and they shouldn't be pressuring you or bullying you into doing it. And it's because of that that I don't consider you being the a-hole in this situation, but I do think that they definitely are acting like a-holes to you. So what do you guys think? What is your judgment on this situation? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see their judgment. Organic Extension 750 says, not the a-hole. Your dad might have cheated, but your mom is the a-hole for getting her kids in the middle of all of this. Deidra196 says, not the a-hole. While your dad was a bad husband to your mom, you consider him to be a good father to you. If you want to keep his last name, that's perfectly fine. Even if your dad was terrible to you, if you don't want to change your last name, you don't have to. And OP responds, Yeah, like, I know what he did was effed up, and took me a while to stop being mad at him for what he did, but at the end of the day, he's still a good father. Revolutionary C15 says, not the a-hole. What will happen when Martin disappoints them or his relationship with your mom sours? What if Martin cheats on her in the future? I have a relative who was like this with their very blended family, basically pressing the kids to all change their last names till every single one of them did, even though everyone's other bio parent was still alive. I always thought it was not healthy. Well, the community agrees that OP is not the a-hole and that he shouldn't have to change his name unless he wants to. Also, what that first commenter said about the mom being the a-hole for how she put the kids in the middle of all of this, I agree absolutely with that point as well. Now, OP has given us an update to see what happened after this whole thing, so let's continue with that. Crap kinda got worse since my first post. Everyone being hostile at home because I still didn't want to change my last name like they all were. My brothers being mean and my sister ignoring me. Then my mom being cold and crap. Even Martin too was actually different cause now he sees I don't want him to be family. I did think a lot, especially what lots of people saying about parental alienation. I looked it up and man, it's crazy. Stuff that my mom had been doing just clicked and I see how things are now. So in the end, I decided to tell my dad I don't want to be there anymore and told him what's been happening. Like what my mom says. He knows about the name change. He's fine if everyone else wants to do it, but if I don't want to, he's not gonna allow it. Him and my mom got into a big fight over it. Then she got mad at me for involving him. Even more drama happened later. We had a whole family meeting, so that's where I told my mom I don't want to be there if this is how they always gonna treat me. Rather be at my dad's where no one's yelling or treating me like crap. My dad kept asking if that's what I really wanted. Made me think about it a few more days, and I still felt the same. I'm here at my dad's already. Nobody wants to talk to me, but they're already gonna see about changing the custody agreement. My mom says she won't force me to stay if I'd rather go live with trash. Exactly like that. I'ma try not let it get to me. At least now it's more peaceful. I'm glad I didn't let them force me to change my name. It's crappy now, but at least I'm glad I'm not at that house anymore. I wanted to do this for a while, but I was too scared. But you guys were right. She would have been mad anyways, and nothing was gonna make the situation better, so at least better to get out of there already. Thank you for showing me how effed up this whole situation's been and making me feel okay about still wanting to keep my name. Things are for sure more calm here with my dad and his boyfriend at their place. Edit to add. My dad is gay. He said he didn't realize this till around the time he cheated, to find out for sure if he was gay or not. He knows that he's still effed up by cheating instead of being honest. I was mad at him for that and paid for the consequences. Then he met his boyfriend like almost 2 years ago. His family, like my grandparents, uncles and cousins, all of them are super homophobic. All of them kicked him out of the family. He doesn't talk to any of them anymore because they say he's not family. Well, OP, even though the situation is kinda crazy for how they were treating you, it's a good thing that now you're in a place where you actually feel okay, that it's more calm and it's a better environment for you. It sucks that your family doesn't want to talk to you anymore, but hopefully they'll come around at some point and mend the fences or, rebuild the bridges or whatever. In the meantime, all the best, OP. Take care. And now we move on to the next post. This post is from the subreddit Today I Effed Up, and it's by user Uncle Voldy. Today I effed up by having a really long name and getting kicked out of Russia because of it. My parents decided to give me both of their last names. This means that I have 6 names in total. 2 first names, 4 last names. On top of that, they're uncommon last names in my country. I was never too bothered by it. It was a bit annoying at times, but a good conversation starter. In 2019, some friends and I decided to go to St. Petersburg for New Year's Eve. Russia was allowing people to visit St. Petersburg with a temporary visa that you could get online. While filling out the form for the visa, my name didn't fit the given space. So, in my innocence, I thought that taking one of my last names was okay, that it wouldn't matter. Oh, how wrong I was. On the 30th of December, we caught an overnight bus in Tallinn, Estonia, that would take us to St. Petersburg, stopping only in Narva, the border city, for a visa and passport check. 4 a.m. rolls around, the bus stops in a sort of military border, and we hand in our documents. When I hand in mine, the lady that received them looks at me very seriously, double checks my papers, and grabs the weirdly old Soviet-styled phone. A soldier with a tiny hat comes in, looks at me, looks at her, looks at my papers, and back at me, and also grabs the phone to call someone else. In comes another military man, whom I assume was their boss since he had a bigger hat, and does the same round of looks. Me, lady, soldier, papers, me again. He tells me in the thickest Russian accent I've ever heard, "Come with me." He leads me through a door and we start walking around in what felt like a maze of office cubicles. We reach a room with a broken chair, a dirty table, and a flickering light bulb. He tells me to sit down, puts my papers on the table, grabs his phone. At this point, I was scared crapless of what in the world was going to happen. He writes something on it and puts it on the table for me to see. It's Google Translate Russian-English and it's spelled, "Your name is wrong, you must leave." Effing great. Now I have to explain through Google Translate that my name didn't fit the online form. After almost an hour of trying to explain and argue in very calm voices because trying to feel entitled and demanding to Russian soldiers didn't seem like a good idea, we get nowhere. They tell us that I need to do an express visa if I need to enter the country and that it would cost me 120 euros. We would need to go back to Narva and go to the consulate to do this. A soldier leads me and my friends, who were true comrades and decided to stay back with me, away from the military station or border control. It was raining at this point, it was still dark, close to 6 a.m, and the soldier stops at the end of the border, looks at me, points at the other side of the border and says, "That is Narva, go." And so, we walk back to Narva, sleepy, soaked and frustrated. We go through the border control on the Narva side and find some couches there, where we sit down and try to sleep for a bit. We were woken up by a very angry lady shouting at us in Russian, but we understood the message. We couldn't sleep there, we needed to go. The consulate would only open at 9 a.m, so we decided to go eat something, anywhere that was open. We found this hotel and managed to sit down and get some coffee. One of the weirdest parts of this town was that no one, and I really mean no one, could speak Estonian. One of my friends was Estonian and we thought that that might make things easier, but none at all. It's finally 9 a.m. and we reach the consulate. Let me try and describe this place as best as I can. It felt like we were time traveling to an old USSR office. Everyone looked miserable, the walls were painted in pale beige and military green alternatively. The secretary there spoke Russian and nothing else. Again, of weird since this was a consulate and we were in Estonia. She was not understanding anything that we were trying to say and trying to send us away. Finally, she managed to understand that we wanted to speak with the consul and she told us to sit and wait. She sat at her desk and picked up the ringing phone, which was this old military green rotary phone that actually matched the walls and the vibe of the place. After a long wait, the consul finally arrives and I start explaining what happened. Luckily, he spoke English. Initially, he's dismissive and assuming that I just made a mistake with the online form, but after explaining that I actually couldn't fit my name on the form, he asked, "Does everyone in your country have such long names?" "No sir, they do not." There was nothing he could do. I would just have to go to the travel agency next door and pay the 120 euros to get the express visa. We head to the travel agency and after a short but ridiculously slow line, I finally managed to talk to someone. They looked at my papers, then at me, back at the papers and grabbed the phone to call someone. In comes a lady. She looks at me, at the papers, at the other lady and grabs the phone. After the phone call, she goes away and the travel agency woman looks at me and says, "Sorry, this is very complicated, it'll take a while." After 2 hours or so, they call me back and the travel agency lady looks at me and very happily says, "We did it! We added a dot to one of your names and it works!" At that moment, the only thing I could do was laugh and say thank you. We had to wait an absurdly long time for the visa to be printed, and at 4 p.m. that day, right before our bus left and the consulate closed, I got my visa done and paid for. We rushed to the bus and on our way we went. Wow, OP, that is some New Year's Eve adventure. And considering everything you went through, one dot was the one thing that made a huge difference. Thanks for sharing, and hopefully you did get to enjoy New Year's Eve in St. Petersburg. And it's that time that we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. I certainly did reading them to you. So if you did, then go ahead and give the video a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and become a member of our Discord community that just keeps growing and it is fantastic. And like I said in the beginning of the video, all of the relevant links are in the video description below, so be sure to check them out. And finally, I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. It really does mean a lot to me that you guys enjoy this content, so thank you once again. And having said all that, I will see you guys in the next video.